She's an expert business coach who practices what she preaches and has a strong passion for soulpreneurs when the business is you. I'm delighted to welcome Sue Stiles on Small Talk. Sue Stiles, president of Maximize Results Consulting, author of The Little Red Stick. Welcome to Small Talk.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Javid.
Sue, I'm excited for this conversation because we're going to talk about a few things, but specifically, you are focused in on helping soulpreneurs, entrepreneurs, in terms of their businesses. But specifically, I wanted to start this conversation around this theme that you've created about avoiding the pitfalls of entrepreneurship. Really intriguing conversation today, Sue. So help us with it. How do we avoid, as entrepreneurs, how do we avoid those pitfalls?
Well, I have lots of opinions, but I see entrepreneurs and solopreneurs struggle when they start their own business. They might get a license to practice a skill, or, you're a massage therapist or a real estate agent, mortgage broker. So you get this license and you can do the skill, but you don't know how to run a business. And lots of times, you feel like you have to become everything to everybody. You have to do everything. And it really can lead to burnout. And there's a super high rate of failure if you're an entrepreneur. Most people will agree it's around 90%. So that frustrates me. And I don't think that's fair. And when I've sat in the offices of busy entrepreneurs and see how they do good habits and run good systems, it just seems very reasonable to me. If you want to run your own business, you can, but maybe you just didn't learn those business skills, at school in your licensing course.
Now, someone's watching the Small Talk segment, Sue, and they've either just started into entrepreneurship or they've been an entrepreneur for a while, and perhaps they're sensing what you just said about, running a business. What are some of those habits of a successful entrepreneur or soulpreneur that you've either experienced, spoken with, or come across? What are some of those habits that you can share with that individual watching this segment?
Well, I'll start with the first habit I usually talk about is take care of your clients before they're clients. So just for an example, last week, my husband and I went down to Vegas, and I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if I interviewed a real estate agent there and just ask how they do their business, maybe do a blog or interview. I got recommendations from 6 contacts here that I know. Hey, speak to this guy, speak to this girl down in Vegas. I messaged them all. Some I had a bit of email contact. Some never got back to me. Some just became friends. But out of all of them, when I said, I just want to interview you and talk a bit about business practices, I only ended up seeing one agent. Only one agent treated me like I was a client before I told them, oh, maybe we're looking to buy a house. And this is a big challenge, I think, when you're starting your business, when you're looking for leads in new business, treat everyone like they might become a future customer, because you never know, they might. Even if they're not looking for a service immediately, start that rapport, treat them how they want to be treated. Because if I'm looking for a place in Vegas, I've got one person now who's going to have my business.
What other habits can you share? So it sounds like experiences or first impression is very important. Treat them as if they were already your customers or your clients. That's amazing. Any other habits that you've come across, Sue, that you can help with this conversation today?
Also, new business owners have to realize they need to invest in their tools and they need to learn how to use them. And especially right now, let's talk about online marketing, which I know you're a professional at as well. If I know how to give you a mortgage or to cut your hair, I might not be an expert in marketing or branding or social media. Money does need to go into that. And you need to become, if you're not an expert already, hire somebody who is. And you've got to get exposed online. There's a party going on online and everyone's invited, but not everyone goes. So, this is just one of the tools, but just get that frame of mind. Yes, you need to invest in some of those tools and learn how to use them. And if you're not going to become the expert there, hire somebody who is. It'll really help propel your business. So that's another good habit.
Now, are you finding in terms of conversations with solopreneurs, in addition to the business side, are you finding that they just want to do everything? Like they just want to do everything because either they realistically don't have a budget, or they're controlling because they want to do everything, or they think they can do everything. What's your thoughts, and help the audience around that? If that's an individual who's watching this segment who's saying, gosh, I do everything. I'm on social, I do my videos, I do my writing, I'm out there networking, I do my own design. What's your thoughts around that? And does that help with being successful, or is that part of that avoiding the pitfalls?
I think that's definite avoiding the pitfalls. You don't fall into the pitfall of trying to do it all yourself. Usually an entrepreneur will burn themselves out within 3 years because they're 24/7. There's no balance. They don't know how to create balance. Yes, part of it might be money and they don't have a budget for it, but they just don't know. Lots of times when I come into solopreneurs' offices and tell them, you need to have a marketing budget, it should be 10 to 20% of your gross revenue, the revenue you want to get. And you get it by spending the money on it now. So I think just they don't know, they're not used to doing things that way, a definite pitfall.
Amazing conversations here, folks, with Sue Stiles. She is the president of Maximized Results Consulting. She's also an author of The Little Red Stick. If you haven't seen or heard of Sue, go online. She's definitely on LinkedIn. She's doing all kinds of videos. Definitely check out her book. Her contact information has been on the screen through this conversation. So folks, if you want to continue this conversation, you are a new entrepreneur or a solopreneur, and you've heard some things that certainly resonate with you, please reach out to Sue and continue this conversation. Now, Sue, we've got a question we ask all of our guests, and certainly our first-time guests. And the question is simple. If you had an opportunity to have a small talk conversation with anyone, living or past, who would that be?
I hope it's not cliche, but honestly, if I could sit down with Jesus the Christ, I have a lot of questions for God. You know, things you just can't explain and you just don't get. I really, that's my guy.
That is, I'm going to tell you, I've asked this question God knows how many times. I thank God there's a media banner behind me, because I would have fallen right back. That's an amazing answer. That's amazing. I want to get to know answers from God. That's amazing. So Sue, thank you for being on Small Talk. Really appreciate it, folks. Again, her contact information's there. Sue, thanks again for being on Small Talk.
Thanks, Javid. You're awesome.
Thank you to Sue Stiles, president of Maximized Results Consulting and author of The Little Red Stick, for joining me on Small Talk. You can also listen to the show as part of our podcast series. Now it's your turn. Please comment, subscribe, and share. If you've got a topic you'd like to discuss on the show, please give me a call or send me an email. We'll talk with you next time.